Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all doing well. In this video I am going to show you a very useful tool for UV unwrapping the identical objects in Autodesk Maya. So let's get started. So here in Maya, I made this simple model of a crate. It is a very basic modeling using polygon cube. I will turn on this button so that it looks nice and crisp. The main thing is that I have all these identical objects over here, which I made by duplicating one of them. So basically, the model is created by duplicating identical objects and placing them correctly on their respective positions. You can do the UV unwrapping for each object one by one, but it will be very much time consuming. Or you can do the UV unwrapping of each object before duplicating and placing them. But in this case these are all placed properly before UVs were unwrapped. I have created groups for different sections of objects, which you can select either by going to the outliner and selecting the respective groups, or you can select any object and press up arrow key to select the group of that particular object. Click on this button to isolate this group. Now, select one object and then go to UV and select UV Editor. Now then, let's do the UV unwrap for this object. So, I will isolate this one. And now, I will give a planar mapping from X-axis. Go to UV and select Planar Mapping option box. From here, select X-axis and apply. Now, go to Edge mode. Double-click on these edges. Go to UV Editor, hold Shift right-click and cut. Now, go to UV mode, then double-click on this UV shell. Hold Shift right-click, select Unfold, again select Unfold. Then go to Edge mode, double-click on the corner edges to select all the corner edges. Then go to UV Editor and cut. Then select this UV shell and unfold them. Do the same for this UV shell as well. After that, drag and select all these UVs, hold Shift right-click, select Layout, then Layout UV. Now, go to Edge mode, then turn on the checker box from UV Editor to see how the checkers are distributed in the object. Perfect, it is looking good. Turn off the checker box. Turn off the isolation button. Now, we have done UV unwrapped for this object only. But, as you can see, these are all similar objects. These are all duplicates of one single object. But the UVs are not unwrapped for rest of them. You can go and do unwrapping for all these objects separately, but this will be a very time-consuming process. So instead of doing that, we will transfer the attributes from already unwrapped object to all the identical objects. Now then, first select the object which is already unwrapped, then select another one. Then go to Mesh, and select Transfer Attributes option box. I will reset the settings. Here, all these settings will remain the same. We just need to change only the sample space to component. And all these other settings we can keep them as default. After that, select Transfer. Automatically the UVs will be transferred from this object to this one. Let me show you properly what is happening. I will select both these objects and then isolate them. So, if I select one object at a time, you will see there is only one UV set in the UV Editor, but it is not. If I go to UV mode and select these UV shell and move them aside, and then shift select the other object, you can see there are separate UV shell for each object, which is exactly the same thing, except we have transferred the attributes from one object to another. Even the checkers are distributed properly for both objects. So, this is it you all have to do for rest of the identical objects. First, select the object with already UV unwrapped, then shift select the other one, then go to Mesh and apply Transfer Attribute with the same settings. Now, you can shift select one by one and press G on your keyboard to repeat the last command. You can quickly transfer UV attributes to all the identical objects. This is very useful for UV unwrapping of similar objects, without changing their positions. Now, I will quickly do UV unwrap for this object. After that, I will select this object, shift select the other one, then go to Mesh and apply transfer attribute with same settings. Then repeat the process by shift selecting other identical objects one by one and pressing G on the keyboard. One of the cool thing about this transferring attributes is that if you change anything in the UVs in one object, it will also update the other identical objects' UVs, unless you have deleted the history. Let me explain it clearly. I will select this object and isolate it. Go to Edge mode, select this edge and move and sew edges. Now select this UV shell and apply straighten UVs, and then layout them. You can see the changes that I made only in that object, is also updated in the other one as well. This changes will be updated to all the identical objects. Now, after transferring attributes to the identical objects, it is very important to delete the history before applying layout to the UVs. Drag and select all the objects, go to Edit, then select Delete All by Type, and then History. Now you can go to UV mode. Drag and select all the UVs. Hold Shift right click, then select Layout, then Layout UV. So this is it all you have to do. Quite simply you can do UV unwrap identical objects, and it will take much less time, rather than unwrapping each objects one by one. So guys, I hope you like this tutorial. Subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get the notifications first whenever there is any new video in my channel. Feel free to ask me anything regarding this video in the comments section. Stay safe, and I will see you on the next video.